back, and what a delight to say we are joined once again by Mike Arnold, a man I've come to admire greatly for his courage as well as his incredible, daring do, I guess is the way to put it, when it comes to trying to save persecuted Christians, specifically in the nation of Nigeria. Mike is a former mayor of a little town in Texas by the name of Blanco, but that hardly begins to describe his incredible skills and his accomplishments, for that matter, in terms of bringing the truth about the persecution, the genocide of Christians taking place in Nigeria today with the knowledge and complicity of its government. There's quite a tale there. We might get a little bit of a flavor of it in a fairly brief conversation we have for him today. But I do want to have him talk as well about an intervention he has made directly with the President of the United States to try to address the continuing and horrific bloodletting that's taking place against people simply because they follow Jesus Christ in Nigeria. Mike, it's great to have you back. Welcome once again, my friend.
Good to be here.
So just level set a little bit with us to remind our audience about your experience back in October of last year, where you had an opportunity to speak truth to power and did so, very magnificently.
Well, it was a God thing. I've been doing mission work there in Nigeria for many years, since 2010, and it really kicked into gear when I stumbled into a displaced persons camp, a concentration camp, a horrific place, in the middle of their capital, Abuja. Ends up there's many of these all over the place where these displaced Christians are suffering and dying, building their own shanties next to sewage ditches without any support. The government harasses them, calls them vagrants and beggars.
There was evidence because insurgents who were killed, their telephones were probed, and they were in contact with security officers while they were operating. That is to show we have accomplices within the security forces. And that is why when people are being attacked, some instruction will come from above, whoever it would be, to ensure that these people receive the worst kind of treatment before the security forces would come. The people who are sponsoring insurgency in Nigeria didn't just wake up and then became insurgents or started to sponsor insurgency. It started and grew till when we got Sharia into our constitution. According to Sharia, Muslims will have to be the lords. You will have to submit. I will have to submit. Muslims who don't believe in that violence have to submit. There are rules. So since Sharia came in, insurgency in real time came in because they have the right under Sharia to convert the unbelievers.
Chase them out. Fulani must go. Fulani must go. Kwara people, thank you. This is how to respond to wickedness perpetrated by a wicked tribe. Chase all of them out. Fulani must go. Both the young, the old, the fathers, the mothers, the children. All of them are in this terrorism act together. The children, the beggars, they are informants. All of them. No one is correct amongst them. Both their politicians, their imams, their sheikhs, all of them are involved in this Islamic jihadist Fulani madness. See wicked cry. Is this how people cry? No tears in their eyes. Look at it. Look at it. See how they are crying. No single iota of tears. When they unalive the Christians in Christian-dominated communities, and you see mothers whose husband have been unalive, the children have been unalive crying, you will feel empathy. You will feel sympathy. This one is crocodile cry. They are trying to do the manipulative kind of thing they did during Goodluck Jonathan to oust him, to make people angry. Nobody's angry against any Southern leader again. We're only angry against every tribe is angry against the Fulani, satanic, Islamic, jihadist, mad tribe that has caused so much pain, damage, confusion in every community they enter. No community that Fulani man is staying that is peaceful, that has hope. All of them are, everybody's afraid that they can attack them anytime. And I see the fear because I travel around Nigeria. I see the fear all over the south, the middle belt. Anywhere I go, people are scared that Fulani can come and attack them in the night. Chase them out. Fulani must go. Chase all of them out of your forest. Chase them out of your communities. Let them go back to Sokoto. Let them go back to Bauchi. Let them go back to Gombe. Let them go back to those God-forsaken region where they came from. We don't need them in our community. Chase all of them. Chase them out. These are animals. Animals behave normal than them. I said it, the way they started, there's going to be reprisals everywhere in Nigeria. Now, I saw some people posting yesterday, they said, Jos, there's an attack in Jos, this and that, although we had a friend that did it, but some people are saying it's Beron people, the back in line, the people that did it. You say everybody's angry, somebody that you unalive his brother, what do you expect? You expect him to be clapping for you for unalive his brother? He will be looking for your brother too. If you do it to his brother, he will look for your brother. You came to Akure and unalive our king. And your emir is in our territory. You people cannot go and look for that emir and chase him out. The Akure, what are you waiting for? They came and unalive your own king, and you are playing pranks with them. You are still playing with these people when you should look for wherever their king is and send him packing. Chase all of them out of the forest. Yoruba land must vomit every Fulani from our land. We don't need them. These are criminal animals. Wicked, brutal, satanic people. All their generation. There's no one that is correct. See Rufai. See all the secrets coming out. A lot of secrets coming out. A lot of the politicians, a lot of the people. See Atiku. Did he ever say anything where they were unaliving many Christians all over the country? Now he's saying that if anything happens to Rufai, the government will be held responsible. This is the only time we're hearing from these wicked, brutal, God-forsaken, satanic, demonic people. Wicked politicians, wicked Fulani politicians. He has never said anything to condemn the act perpetrated against my people. They came to Kwara even slaughter Yoruba Muslims. This idiot, this wicked politician, Atiku never said anything. All of them kept quiet. The Emir of Sokoto, the Sultan of Sokoto kept quiet. All of them kept quiet. All the emirs in the north, politicians in the north kept quiet. Now, because they arrested Rufai, you are coming out to speak. All of my battle boy journey and jati, very wicked, useless people. He came to marry our Yoruba sister to deceive us. All of you are wicked, black-hearted, satanic people, animalistic in nature. We are going to scatter this country. Let this country split once and for all. We are not interested in one Nigeria again. This is a country that's expired. Please, American government, as you have commenced the search into the system of Nigeria, going deep from state to state, scrutinize the finances. Where did the finance go to? From state treasury to state treasury in the north, especially. All those northern governors that are Muslims, checkmate every money that has gone out of their accounts. Many of them are sponsoring, buying trucks, army trucks, buying weapons, wicked rifles for this Islamic jihadist Fulani mad people to conquer the south, to conquer the Christian dominated communities. Please search everywhere our money went to. We discovered that they paid 2 billion for the federal account to the useless people that kidnapped over 300 students in Mina. Say what they are going to take our money to sponsor Islamic banking and to sponsor terrorism. This is what they are doing with our money.
Remember, this is your show. If you seek to find peace and enjoy life here on earth, if you seek peace in your families, of course, personal peace first. Personal peace, peace of mind, peace in your families, communities, and of course, in the nation. If that is your mission, seeking peace, you are welcome to our show. Yes, we seek peace on earth while we are alive, not when we die. Because according to the culture of my people, you can't have access to eternal rest if when you lived on this earth, all you did was cause chaos for humanity and nature. You failed to liberate the oppressed. You failed to preserve nature and rebuild what has been destroyed. You can't find eternal peace. There's no peace for you when you cross over to the other side. So, if you seek peace, true peace, meaningful peace, come along. Let's walk side by side as we step out of misery and unlock ourselves. Today, we get to listen to Mr. Tony Nnadi. I call him a legal professor that teaches professors of law and senior advocates who somehow missed a class or two in jurisprudence. Let's listen. Thank you.
A federation is a union of constitutions. Nigeria became a federation because the constitutions, like the countries of Germany and France and Portugal, discussing whether they could become European Union. That was the kind of thing that happened in those 10 years leading to 1960. The Constitution of Western Region came in 1957, am I right? Yes. The one of the East followed. The North came in 1959. These three constitutions, with their full sovereignties in their hands, went to Lancaster House discussion. Correct me, elders, if I'm wrong. It was in Lancaster House that they decided what they would, mandate the center to do for them, and it became the basis of drafting a federal constitution for the independence, with those three constitutions as the federating unit, with all their sovereign powers and authority contributing for the upkeep of the center. By 1966, of course, 1963 came, the Midwest had become the fourth one by plebiscite, and eventually, those five constitutions that defined the union were toppled by the military intervention of 1966. From that point on, the meeting that happened in Aburi in 1967 was to see whether we could go back to something that would refloat the ship of state. And they came back and abandoned it and went into brigandage. It's been one imposition after the other. The one we call the 1999 Constitution today was the first staff commissioned by Murtala Mohammed in 1975. Immediately they overthrew Gowon. They got lawyers who had to draft for them. Unfortunately, it was our brother Rodney Williams, the commission, and he had to look for people who would do it for them, with him. He found our brother again, Ben Wapweze. It was Ben Wapweze that crafted what went to Constituent Assembly. The reason Awolowo stayed away, and I'm telling you this from those who discussed it with him, Bankole Oki. The reason Awolowo stayed away was that the draft that Constituent Assembly was to endorse had already been made out. Of course, Murtala Mohammed had been killed in 1976, and Obasanjo, who is their own man more than he's our own man, had to carry through. In fact, the Constituent Assembly did not accept the states that were imposed in 1967 as basis of the union, because that was where we lost our federalism completely. The Constituent Assembly did not accept the presidential system because it would accumulate power like we have seen now. So many things the Constituent Assembly did not accept. The Land Use Act, you all know what happened. The land tenure system in the north is one in which everything belongs to the emir and he gives to whoever he pleases. They have transposed their civilization upon us in going to appropriate all the lands under that land use act, and so many other something that centralize everything to where they can dictate who gets what. And by the time the Constituent Assembly finished its business, on the 21st of September 1978, I'm sure many here will remember that Obasanjo went to the national broadcast to introduce 17 amendments. Everything the Constituent Assembly recommended that were not in tandem with what was handed over to that Constituent Assembly were removed. And we ended up with 79 constitutions that became 99 when they just added the few states that they had. So this is where we're coming from. And therefore, in going to Court 2007 to say we have not made a constitution, it is to say there is no federation. There is no federation. You cannot anchor this claim and the right to do all of what you are doing on a fraud in which my signature was put on a document that didn't make, expropriating me and giving you power of life and death over me forever. And we say, at this moment, we can insist that we cannot renew our enslavement by going to a further election unless we raise a question, a dispute that will now have to be resolved one way or the other. They will ignore us, go to the election, buy 4 more years. And what we see in Jos and Benue will be child's play when it moves beyond where it is. Are we prepared to go to renew our enslavement and endanger the generations unborn further by going to election under this constitution? If we are not, Is it not within our reach now? Because the man who is on the side of the Ike Goremado, I'm sure many of you saw that, he said it can be done in 3 months. We can insist now. That's the lever we can bring to it. That 3/4 of the country, the brown, the black, the blue, and the purple, as you see on that map, is able to stand as a new majority to say that we will not go to another election under this constitution. If that question is raised today, in less than 1 month, we will be at the table of discussing whether we are continuing as one union, and if yes, or what time, before we begin to discuss any election. South Africa came to this bump up in 1990, very declared, announced that they will have to decide a new thing. We are not taking one alphabet from that constitution from which they draw all these powers. And if they think guns will resolve it, I can only wish them good luck. Thank you very much.
There is a memorandum by Mr. Mike Arnold. Mr. Mike is the founder of Africa Arise International and author Epicenter. There is a memorandum he sent. He addressed it to President Nigeria, and we want to look at some part of it. It's titled Nigeria, the biggest win on the board. And we're not reading the entire thing. There's just some part of it that he added something. Of course, that is also published on our movement, Nina's movement platform, and you have access to read the entire thing there. So let's read part of it. It says, here's what most people don't know. Nigeria's constitution is a fraud. It was written by a Muslim military dictator in 1999 and imposed by decree. No votes, no referendum, no consent. It opens with "we the people," but the people never saw it. It mentions Sharia 73 times and Christianity 0 times. It centralizes all wealth under Northern Islamic control. It is not a democracy. It is a caliphate with a rubber stamp parliament. The terrorists in the bush and the politicians in Abuja are not enemies. They are same operation. One clears the land, the other hides the bodies and pockets the minerals. Can you hear it? It says, without action, we lose Nigeria. Brookings conservatively projects 1 to 2 million radicalized fighters by 2030. It says, the real number is far worse. I have seen the camps firsthand. The Nigerian government and the United Nations actively suppress and deny the displaced populations. Official figures claim 3.3 million field work indicates 10 to 12 million. From that pool, 5 to 6 million potential jihadists, young men and boys with nothing, raised to in camps no one acknowledges, prime recruits for the deadliest ideology on earth. A jihad-controlled Nigeria would command more money, more people, and more resources than ISIS ever dreamt of. The largest terror state in history, on track to happen unless someone stops it. Here's the good news. This doesn't require a single bomb. That's to stop this evil machinery. You don't need a single bomb. Let's see what he's saying. He says the Nigerian people are ready. When they say Nigerian people, they mean Nigerian peoples, the indigenous peoples I mentioned earlier on, and Tony has also mentioned in several videos, the indigenous peoples. They are ready. Everywhere they go in the world, they prosper. Nigerian Americans are among the most educated, entrepreneurial, and patriotic immigrant communities in this country. That's in America. Yes, that's true. That's who we are. Back home, they are trapped under a rigid system installed by globalists and sustained by Islamists. Remove the stronghold and they will build a powerhouse. That is true. A model nation, a booming economy, America's strongest African ally. He got it right. Because we share core values with America and Israel itself. A $1 trillion mineral partner that replaces China overnight. He went on to say some other things. I'll just say the last thing here. I could say, go and read the article. He says, a new constitution written by the people, ratified by the people, let them decide whether they stay united or restructured. And by that constitution, we don't mean a piece of paper or a booklet. We mean constitutional arrangements. Constitutional arrangements. Currently, what we have is Unitary Constitution in the hands of Fulani, Sharia Constitution, Apartheid Constitution in the hand of Islamic terror network. For you to end the bloodshed in Nigeria, you must dismantle, uncouple, reformat, reset that union to give sovereignty back to the indigenous peoples living on their ancestral lands. Then they will begin to take care of their lands, protect their lands, build on their lands, develop their lands, secure their lands, do what they need to do on their land, because the lands belong to them. So, in essence, what everyone is saying is the current political structure in Nigeria is corrupted and ruined. Nothing good can come out of it. No leadership change under this evil Fulani unitary structure of Nigeria can work. You remember when Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was in Aso Rock? I'm using that as an example. He tied his hands and legs and everything. He couldn't even do anything for his people. They were saying, with the right structure, with the right constitutional structure, you don't need your man or your woman to be in Abuja for things to happen in your village. It's because we have wrong structure that you are fighting and killing yourself to get Yoruba man in Aso Rock, to get Igbo man in Aso Rock, to get Hausa man in Aso Rock. Who does that in the US? We have wrong structure. We have wrong system. That's why we are killing ourselves in the name of politics. That's why we say, stop that. Let's fix the structure first. Let's fix the foundation first. Then you can begin your politicking. We're not telling you not to start. City boys and village boys, please, clear out of the way for those that know what to do to enter first. It's called transition.
What needs to be done is in 2 stages. That is why we put those 5 points of a proposition in our proclamation. Anybody who will read those 5 points will see exactly how we can come to those two stages. We must accept that that constitution we have now cannot carry us anywhere. We must accept that it has to go. We must accept that we can't go to another election under it, so that we can put a time frame. Otherwise, we'll be at this discussion another 10 years, and people will be dying in millions. And so we come down to that open memo. We adopted and incorporated it in that December 16 proclamation of 2020, so that in one hand we had stated clearly what the problem is and what the solution should be. On the other hand, by adopting that open memorandum on the restructuring debate from this alliance, we also placed on the table a step-by-step articulation of how to undertake that fundamental reconstruction that we can no longer postpone. Let nobody from after this broadcast, let nobody come saying we don't know what to do or how to do it. We challenge those who may want to say so to go to the website of NINAS to read that open memo. You can even Google it, open memorandum to President Muhammad Buhari on the restructuring debate from this alliance. And then you will see exactly what needs to be done to come to the restructuring that you want, to come to the referendum that you've been seeking. If we go in this sequence, we can guarantee that these problems will be solved and everybody in self-determination will get to where they want to go. Those who want 100% autonomy can then vote in that referendum to be by themselves. Those who are satisfied with 80% autonomy can vote in that referendum. But we must get to the point, the threshold of transitioning, where those choices will be made, because what the campaign we are leading is to restore the sovereignty and therefore the self-determination rights of the constituent components of Nigeria without exception of any section. All the nationalities, big or small, will agree among themselves how they want, in what formations they want to federate. Those who want to relate will stay together. Those who don't want to relate will say so by making maps that will exclude other people. But the whole thing is to accept now that we must go to taking that decision on how we want to live. The decision we took in 1960 at Lancaster House has been overtaken, and that is what we have to resolve now. If we do not act quickly enough to resolve it together, those who are being killed across the Middle Belt and the South, those whose future have been ruined, who are roaming all over the world, young people who are fleeing from Nigeria, I tell you, the right to self-determination, which is what they seek now, whether they are asking for restructuring or they are asking for Oodua Republic or Biafra Republic or whatever it is, or resource control, all of those things are issues of self-determination arising from the constitutional grievances imposed by the unitary constitutional arrangements. They are all connected. They are just a matter of degree of autonomy that will be acceptable to them. The process, the procedure by which that choice has to be made is what NINAS has placed on the table. Anybody who is not already a part of it, anybody who is not already a part of the campaign to shut down the journey to another election under the 1999 Constitution is a part of the problem. Silence is not golden here. Silence is complicity. Tribute to Bishop Tutu, who told the whole world that keeping silent in the face of a moral question is support for the evil. Let us stand up now and join in insisting that we should go and that we must solve this problem now, other than waiting for it to consume everybody. The process for doing it is clearly articulated in that open memo. A word is enough for the wise.
We thank you for subscribing to our channel. Remember, we can't do this without you. We thank you for sharing all our videos. On Daughters of Truth alone, we have over 1.3 videos on this subject matter. Nina's channels. We have all these facilities for everyone that wants to be educated, so that when you act, you will do the right thing. We have the resources. You cannot perish anymore because of lack of knowledge. We have enough resources to educate our people. So thank you for sharing. If you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button like, set the bell so that once we release our videos, you will get them. Information is power. You need information. Please subscribe. We want to bring up this subscription because once we bring this channel up, the information there can go out to more people. Those work will be easier. So please share, subscribe, get all your friends to watch what we're saying. The content of this channel and other Nina's channels need to go out there if we want justice in Africa and in Nigeria. So those of you that are creating content, oh, this is what is happening. Oh, VDM, come on, they are killing somebody. They are doing this. Auntie Aduni, everyone, all of you, creating content, bringing out the evil that is happening in the land. You need to subscribe to Nina's so that you understand what is being said. You will know that there are some people that are actually working to reset the union and to put the right system in place. And people will not be deceived by those that are saying, Yoruba nation now, Biafra this, or this, that. No, these ones just want to make money on the pain. It's politicians that set them up. That's why you see they're not going anywhere. They're not doing anything. Just make noise. They become political thugs, like Uwazurike in the South. All of them. They are political thugs. What's the other one in South? What's his name? I've forgotten his name. Somebody, please, if you know his name, write us. The one that is bulky. I don't want to use the bad name that our people call him. But these are political thugs. Asari, Kubo, all of them. Sunday, all of them. All these are political jobbers. They are not thinking about the people. They are thinking about the politicians that are sponsoring them. That's what we said. We need to step out of the hamster wheel so that we'll reset the union, start afresh. Thank you for all you do for poor Nigerians, helping them one way or the other. But we need to do more to elevate our people from this shithole, from this pit of suffering, this pit of misery and death called apartheid Nigeria, Sharia Nigeria. We need to do more.
Tinubu represents a system of a self-centered elite who want to replace the colonial masters and who believe that the resources of the community of the country belongs to them, and who believe that in trading favors among themselves, they can form an invisible queue of a limited number of people who will be taking power. And that's why Tinubu could tell you two things which he told you publicly. There are many other things that are worse that he hasn't told you that he's doing. But he told you two things. He said he read a litany of how many people he had helped to power. People he even knew were not competent, were not suitable. He said, I've helped them to power. This one was crying after losing. I made him to win. This other one, who is a governor, who will have made him governor, but I made him governor. So it is my turn. So he's not telling you that on behalf of Nigerian people, I have a mission to perform. He's saying, all of you unqualified people who from time to time have entered government, who is the person who made it happen for you? It is me. So you need to pay me back. In Miloko, it is my personal turn. Now, that's one philosophy of Tinubu, which I find to be a dangerous, narcissistic, and retrogressive philosophy. Then he went further to say, don't waste your time debating anybody, going anywhere to talk, convince anybody. I don't have time for all this balabulu and polaba. Power is not served a la carte. You don't ask for it. What you do is that you grab it, you snatch it, and you run away with it. That is a fascist statement. To say that ignore the people. They don't matter. Once you form enough power base, you grab the power. And from there, and if you see how he's running the government, he's quite a lawless person. And a president that is lawless like that frightens me. And it should frighten you, because how can you take control of the economy of Nigeria like a bandit, have 3 appropriation acts simultaneously running, and you are not obeying any of them? And you go further to take loans as you want, and whimsically spend the money as if it belonged to you, you don't obey the Appropriation Act. And you have a contradiction between you and your minister, between you and the National Assembly, between you and all your ministers, because your ministers are coming out to say, not even 1% of my capital vote has been given to me, and nobody's accounting for the money. And you now make yourself a fiscal hangman that wants to hang every hardworking Nigeria under a draconian and complicated self-interested taxation regime, where now people are being taxed for no representation, no performance, no government. So there are many people who were fumbling and bumbling in government in the past. I was very critical of President Goodluck Jonathan. I respect him. He's been very kind to me. But someone like Jonathan should not have been president. He wasn't qualified. He wasn't ready to do the work. So it's not Tinubu that's the only one. You've had Buhari. Buhari was not even present on this planet. He was living in another cuckoo land throughout the time he was there. He wouldn't know what Nigeria looked like if he saw it on the map. But he was there for 8 years. So now, Tinubu is an organized and scientific destroyer of the system. So he has competencies, but he's using the competencies negatively because he has seen a lot of gap. He knows three things: that Nigerian elite are feckless and they're about themselves because he's been financing them for some time. He's been seeing them. He knows that these people don't mean anything. They don't stand for anything. So if I confiscate the resources, they will all come to me and all of them will start following me. He has achieved that. He also knows that political parties are people just looking for a way to be recognized and be compensated one way or the other. They don't have fidelity to their party and they are not committed to that. So he's managed to make sure that such political parties are decimated. Lastly, he knows that if the Nigerian people are given a sense of fait accompli, they can lose hope and say, well, what can we do? This man is going to be there anyway. Let me just give up. So these are the three reasons why I think that we have not had a president as dangerous as President Tinubu. We've had poorly performing presidents. We've had incompetent presidents. We have presidents that were just not up to the task. But we've not had one that is what the Italian will call capo di tutti, the captain of them all, who is now coming to say, I will carry the entire government into a singularity. I will now make it about myself. And the government will be appropriating my own personal empire.
Is that how you see the Tinubu government?
That is how they are working.
Remember, what we need to do to clean up Nigeria is not leadership change. Rather, it is system change. System change to uncouple the Fulani Unitary Constitutional arrangement so that people can run at their pace, develop, move, just like it's done in America, even in England, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, all these places. They have different peoples that are diverse, but the structure they have is in such a way that they are uncoupled. They independently run. We had it before, but it was hijacked 1966. So what we're saying is not nouveau. It's not something new that we have not heard of. We had it before because we are diverse peoples with multi-ethnic, multicultural, multilinguistic, multi-religious views. However, we can work in unison. For you to work in unison, I have to get my freedom first. You get your freedom. You get your sovereignty. There's no minority. There's no majority. Everybody, you're on your land. You're on your land. We are all equals. All humans are born equal. Every life matters. Male, female, big, small, poor, rich, black, white. Humans are humans. All humans. All human life matters. That's what we're saying. There is a quote in the ancient books. It says, if the foundation is wrong, what can the righteous do? Because the righteous cannot do anything. If the foundation is already corrupted, if it's bad, there's nothing you can do. You have to go back to the foundation. anyone who wants to help Nigerians or help Nigeria must be ready to help us reset the union. Reset the union. The union must be a true federation based on the indigenous ethnic nationalities as constituent members of the union or federation. But they will decide it by themselves. That's how it's done. So anyone that wants to help us, or persons that want to help us, must help us to go into transition now. Not another useless general election. Transition now. It was done in South Africa. It was done in Chile. For Chile, what they did was the youths were on the street demanding, they closed down everywhere, demanding for constitutional change. They occupied their streets, I think for over a year, or about a year. Pull down the military constitution. Power belongs to the people. That the people have to be informed so they will understand and not get cajoled into doing something that is wrong. Transition now to reset the union from the unitary to federal system. Transition to unhook us from the hamster's wheel that we have found ourselves. We need to be unhooked so we can walk. Thank you. Please stay with us. Watch our videos. Share. Subscribe to us. We love you.